all set. You're probably going to Harvard. Me, I don't want to make a mistake. Jeopardize my future. Joel, you want to know something? What? Every now and then, say what the fuck.
Nice guys finish last. I'm sure this is not a phrase that anyone has not heard of. You have to ask yourself, why is that? Certain phrases exist because there's a lot of truth to them. And this phrase pops up a lot of times when it comes to opportunities and relationships. One of my favorite movies is Risky Business, because you had a guy that was trying to do everything right, trying to do everything by the book because he was so worried about his future that he was in a point to where he wanted to play it safe until he meets a woman that brings out his more wild side. And then he embraced that what the fuck type mentality that his friend tried to talk him into.
You know, Bill, there's one thing I've learned in all my years. Sometimes you gotta say, what the fuck? Make your move.
They say that they want to be treated right, that they want to be cherished, that they want someone to treat them like a queen. They want a guy to be sensitive and understanding and compromising. They want a man to treat them well. They want a man who is a nice guy. But why do they always pick the men that they complain about? That's what's funny to me. You say that you want this, but deep inside your body and your mind, you know you yearn for something different.
I did a video on why good guys are boring. I think it's only fair I do a video on why girls love bad boys. It's the charm. Bad boys are very charming, extremely charming, and they know women inside and out. Like, it's always the bad guys that be knowing exactly how to talk to you and exactly how to move with you. And bad boys honestly give you a challenge. Like, as much as people want to say, oh, it's toxic and this and that, like, there's a certain level where, like, I feel like your partner should be able to challenge you. And I must admit, like, who doesn't love a good chase? Like, I think healthy chase is not so terrible. I don't think you should give everything all at once. That's what makes the relationship boring, when you dump everything all at the beginning. But I also have to admit, it's ego. I think the more someone shows you that they don't want you, the more you want them. That goes for men and women. I don't know, there's just something about bad boys. It's like they know how to show you the right amount of what you need. But they're just damn right players. They're no good.
Think about Family Matters. You had Steve and Laura. Steve loved Laura. He cherished her. He professed his love for her. He let her know that she was the one for him. And he would put himself into these crazy predicaments and situations trying to impress her. And she didn't care. She was not returning that same energy. She let him know that he didn't have a chance. She let him know that he was not her type, that she was not interested in him. He was an annoyance to her.
Are you out of your mind? This is a school assignment. It's pretend. We're not married. We're not engaged. We're not even dating, and we never will be. But I thought you'd like... What I like is for you to leave me alone.
But until he had that idea to create that machine to make himself cooler, which is why Stefan Urkel was introduced into the picture. He created the machine to change his style around, to change his walk around, to change his talk around. And he went into the machine, came out, Stefan Urkel, smooth, ladies' man, saying the right thing at the right time, swag, all of that. And she failed. She loved her some Stefan. So Steve didn't get that same treatment, even though it's the same person, of course. But he didn't get that same treatment. So Stefan Urkel and Steve Urkel is the perfect dynamic when you think about the nice guy versus the bad boy. We ask ourselves, why do these guys tend to get the women? It's because women are secretly attracted to certain character traits that are usually found inside of the mindset of the quote unquote bad boy. Dominance, leadership, putting your foot down, someone who isn't sweating you, someone who is inviting you into their life, but they're not trying to fight their way into your life.
I guess it's because women go through the world being wanted by everybody. Pretty much they receive all of the attention, so they're used to that. So it's kind of like, yeah, okay, you're like you said, thank you, but you know, yeah. So it's almost like for this one person to not be doing that, like what's different about this person? So
exactly. So because those men are so rare because most men worship P. They're gonna try to finesse you to get it. We know that. The man that's not doing what the other dudes is doing to try to get it, he ain't tripping about getting it because he can get it. We want him.
Someone that treats you like an option. Someone that puts you into a certain place to where you have to prove yourself to them, which makes them a commodity in your mind.
The minute she try to test you and you take it, it's gonna get worse. It's gonna get worse, and she gonna be talking about you.
And also, not to mention, women like projects that they can work on. They like being able to say to themselves that, hey, look, this was a lion. I got this lion to act like a lamb at certain points. They like being able to say that. But once that lion turns into a lamb 100% of the time, they lose respect for him, because the respect comes from leadership and dominance. They like being able to look up to someone, and you can't do that with someone who's always in this yes dear, whatever you say type mentality. So they like projects. They like the bad boys because bad boys represent a wild, adventurous, dangerous time that snaps you out of your mundane existence of going day by day with structure. We all like fun, but a lot of the time, bad boys represent that fun. There was another movie that I saw recently, another great movie that we all know, Fast Times at Ridgemont High. You had your character, Matt, who had Jennifer Jason Leigh's character in the room. She was ready for it. She was coming on to him. She was trying to give him some play. And he was so nervous. It was his first time. He was a virgin. He didn't know the moves to take things to the next level. He was getting nervous when she crossed over him to grab something off the table. And when it came for that moment, he made up a silly excuse about him having to return his sister's car.
Hey, I just thought of something. My sister is crazy when it comes to her car. It's got to be back by 11.
You want to call her?
No, look, she gets crazy. I mean, that's her car is her baby. I better be going.
Yeah.
I'll call you. Well, I'll see you in class. Okay? Bye.
And then he left. And he regretted it because after he left out of the house, he looked back, the light went off, and he was saying to himself, man, why did I just mess up that opportunity? I could have gotten what I wanted. And that actually drove her into the arms of his best friend, who wasn't wasting any time. He went ahead and went along with it. So you have to ask yourself, should you really be a nice guy?
This is why girls like bad guys over good guys, part 2. So many of you saw my first video and you guys think that I'm wrong. But the tea is, bad guys have nothing to lose, so they can give you everything. Their schlongs tend to be bigger and more effective, tea. They're extremely emotional and you get to live life on the edge. Like you said, messing with the bad guy, he might have multiple baby mamas, whatever, so he's not going to have that much time and attention to focus on your child. So therefore, you get to parent your child all by yourself and raise a kid just the way that you want without having to worry about input from another person. It's great. On top of it, he has multiple baby mamas, so you can constantly fight other people and just bring that extra spiciness to life. And then your parents are probably going to hate him, but it's going to be fine because, it just, that thrill of your parents hating your significant other, they're just better. That's it. Period.
Should you really follow all of these so-called unwritten rules that your mother has taught you? Should you say to yourself, should I trust words from a woman, or should I trust actions from a woman? Because the actions speak louder than the words, and the actions show that the results are the same, because a lot of the time we like to think that women grow out of this phase, that they get the 25 years old, 30 years old, and then they start to say, you know what, I was immature, I want this and I want that, which does happen. However, they still want those same character traits out of a situation that involves a bad boy character.
Like I said, I'm going to regurgitate it again. If a female does not pick that phone up, you hit her up at 10 in the morning and she hit you up, she hit you up late at night, that don't make sense to me. It don't. It just don't. Like me, I got my phone on me all the time, and I'm not even on my phone as much as everyone else is. So I know I called you. So you can play those games with somebody else. I don't be tripping though, because I can give it to you the same way. You see what I'm saying? But you have to, at the end of the day, you're going to have to figure out whether or not that's worth it. Is that something that you really want to be tied into? Is that situation worth that trouble, your energy, so on and so forth? So
you'll have the situation like in Ferris Bueller's Day Off, how Ferris's sister was at the jail and Charlie Sheen's character, typical bad boy, has the leather jacket, everything going on. Who knows what he's there for?
Why are you here?
Drugs.
And she just so turned on by that. And it's like you're saying to yourself, man, like they really love bad boys.
Okay, Gene.
That's great.
In this space, I'm on panels and I have these conversations where we have deemed the bad boy a Pookie or a Ray Ray, because in the black community we have these nicknames that we have for certain people. Like if my name is Tony, they'll call me Tone or T or something like that. But there are a lot of dudes who have grown up in the thug lifestyle, who would probably have a nickname like Pookie or Ray Ray. And this is the name that we have given these bad boys in the relationship space that we talk about on YouTube. And we say these same things, that the bad boy is not going to be answering the phone every single time that you call, which Chloe Bailey also said that she would like to call a guy and not have him answer the phone every single time that she rings it, because she would like to know that he's busy. The Pookie or Ray Ray archetype is not going to jump up at 3 a.m. to go get you something to eat. He's going to tell you, go back to sleep. Okay, you can wait till morning. He's not going to be up your ass all day, because absence makes the heart grow fonder. And it's hard to be absent from a guy who is super clingy. So super clingy to the point where you're saying to yourself, wow, he's putting you as the center of his universe. And you lose respect for that, because women secretly have an admiration for men who seem to have options.
What I was saying in that video is that, seeing as though sex is more of a need for men and a want for women, for us, we want it so bad, and we think about it. It's like, let's be honest here. Let's be adults about it. When a guy takes you out on a date, you guys are sitting across from each other. She wants resources and some experiences for free, and you want to get laid. It may be now and then. Of course, if you're dating seriously, you obviously want that to be attached to a woman who's going to carry yourself as a wife, so that you guys can be in a healthy relationship. But at the core of it all, we're men, we want sex. So if a woman shows up 10 minutes late, a guy could be like, you know what, I kind of find it disrespectful that you show up late. My time is important. So how about we just reschedule another time, or I don't think this is going to work. No, he's going to push that to the side over a possibility of getting laid. So guys will, it's like, imagine a woman, right? Imagine that sex was off the table. Just imagine that what's between their legs is not there. Okay, just imagine that that's not the case. And take her for how she is. Would you still talk to that woman if she was without the sexual appeal? If sex was not on the table, would you still let her talk to you crazy? Would you still let her talk to you out of side of her neck? No, because you wouldn't hang around a man like that. So you wouldn't hang around a woman like that. And the only reason you're putting up with it from a woman is because you're trying to get the box. You're trying to get that. So you're going to sell your soul to the devil. You're going to sell your self-respect over for temporary pleasure. And we talked about post-nut clarity. It's a real thing. After you get to that moment, after you get to that climax, you understand, like, I really don't like her like that. Like, you count down the minutes to be like, you know what? Okay, what you about to do for the rest of the night? Yeah, I got to wake up early in the morning, stuff like that. You weren't acting like that before the sex. You acting like she just couldn't leave. You were trying to keep her there.
I'm dead.
And now after you got
Only
it,
had
like,
that
okay,
if you buck in his voice. You wouldn't talk to a man like that.
The nice guys never win. Nice guys don't get no bitches. Nice guys don't goddamn get no respect. Nice guys don't get shit. That's just the sad reality of the situation. Nice guys finish last.
Who seem to possess a mentality to where they will say, I'm glad to be with you, but if you left out the door, I wouldn't be heartbroken. I would move on. Women like men like that. And it's hard to have that type of mentality inside of super clingy guys that want to do everything to impress a woman. They'll go to the ends of the earth to impress a woman, not knowing that most women will take advantage of that in a negative way. So you have to say to yourself, what am I really proving showing up with roses and trying to be so uber romantic all of the time, because the proof is in the pudding. A lot of times we have these conversations and women will talk about submitting. They'll talk about submitting to a dominant man. I'm on a show with a lady and she said that she was in a relationship to where she wore the pants basically, and she felt as though she could say anything she wanted to this guy. She had a reckless mouth. And there were no consequences because of that. So she felt like he was somebody to run over. So when she saw that, it was basically like a green light to go.
I always tell the truth, even when I lie. So say good night to the bad guy. Come on. The last time you're gonna see a bad guy like this again, let me tell you.
Good girls love bad dudes. Bad girls love bad dudes. And they all think I'm bad. Shit, they know. I ain't no bad dude though.
Do you think we could really learn something from the quote unquote
Heck
Pookie and Ray
yeah.
Ray situation? Because a lot of time it's like we complain that they get all the pussy, they get everything, they get all the sex, they get all the play. But why you think that is? Because we can sit up here, we can say we're the super nice guy. But if you were, I always tell my homeboy Chris, I was like, you know what? I think that we're good people, but at the same time, we're not really focused on trying to be the super nice guy, because we don't want to end up in that Norbit lane. It's like you have to be a good person. Yeah, be a upstanding man, but at the same time, put your foot down when it needs to be put down, and talk with some bass in your voice, you know, and kind of be nonchalant sometimes, and like don't be up her ass and everything like that. Do you feel like those character traits of the Pookie and Ray Rays, if we took most of those attributes on us, then maybe we wouldn't complain in this space, because we would be like peanut butter and jelly, you know, best of both worlds, you know?
And it's crazy because I wanted to do it. I was thinking of doing like a pre-record or live, saying y'all can really learn from Pookie, or this is why Pookie is taking y'all women, because if you really look at it, I hate this whole high value talk, because most of us are regular. Most of us meet regular people that drive regular cars, like regular, right? But at the same time, when you think of Pookie, he's also a guy that has something to do, even if he don't. He's going in the morning when you want him to stay. He's also the guy who is going to act like you are replaceable, even if you're not.
And Katrina, she got what she wanted. I guess I'ma change one day. Settle down with Lisa. Have me some kids. Be normal. But today, just ain't the day.
He's not blowing up your phone. It's the guy who got something better to do than been fooling with you. And unfortunately, a man that got shit to do for real, like a businessman, he don't have all day to be just wasting time trying to get to know. Like, it sound bad, but that's really the case. He got somewhere to be. You also know he has options that you got to compete with. Like, it's the thing that women are drawn to the men that other women want. So the characteristics that make women want them is the charisma, it's the way you may carry yourself, it's the confidence you exude in every aspect. Because you know, Pookies, they be walking like they just got it together, and you know, like, this dude is not responsible in his real life. He got kids, or he got something going on. But if you look at it, the Pookie, when you hear in the conversation, he's just not taking care of his kids. That don't mean he don't have other things together. He just not in his kids' lives, right? So when we reference Future, how many women would actually be with Future? Even the women in these spaces that say they don't like a Pookie. If Future was like, you know what, I just really want to find a wife, and I just really want to be girls gonna be lining up. They don't care if he's not there for the kids. You want to know why? Because he has the charm, he has the look, he has the resources. They know he got options, and they want to be the winner. That's the thing. Most men make it seem like most men don't carry themselves like they're the winner. They carry themselves like they have to be like this to the woman's second call. Yeah. So the woman is gonna do what? Run over you, use you while you being a simp, and she's going to then end up with Pookie because Pookie gonna portray himself like the dominant man.
I'll even miss my glasses. I'll never forget that first day I got them. I was one happy 6-month-old little boy. Well, no more Steve Urkel. Been there, done that. Time to move on.
Yeah, isn't it just? It's weird because on the surface, it seems like women should want the nice guy. They'll tell you they like nice character traits, but something within them deeper, that animalistic section of them just yearns for the bad boy, because they just can't deny the fact. Because like we said, Chloe Bailey. But now I know Chloe Bailey is young, but whatever. But she did point out the fact that she wants to call you, but she doesn't really want you to answer the phone like that or something like that. It sounded weird. But
okay, so we don't want you always available, like wondering like what is he doing, and then we might even say what the fuck you mean, we might come off like that, but we like that.
Why do modern women love bad boys?
I can't answer that one.
I can answer from my perspective. I feel like we like bad boys because we feel like we want to feel protected, but
what makes you feel like a good guy can't protect you?
No, it's not that they can't. It's just I haven't seen that they can. Whereas with like bad boys, you kind of like know what they're on, so like you kind of.
So sorry, carry on, but I just want to ask you something. So do you feel it's a man's job to protect you?
Always.
Yeah.
That's cool. No, that's cool.
No, I do. My dad protects me, so I feel like my man should do it.
Yeah, that's cool. Like, that's what I feel. That's what we prescribe to. But there seems to be something that goes on when we speak like this. There seems to be a different narrative that gets pushed about how we speak about wanting to protect women and be there. So when I heard you say protect, that's one of the things that we always talk about. So I just picked up on it.
Yeah.
But carry on.
No, that's fair enough. Mm-hmm. That's why I would rather.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do most of your friends like the nice guys or the bad boys?
Most of my friends, they like bad boys as well.
What about each other? What are each other's types?
I just don't want somebody to make me feel like I gotta back us up and you ain't doing nothing. You know what I'm saying?
No.
Okay.
Good guys or bad boys? Good guys.
Good guys.
Good guys.
They finished last, but like
guys,
when you really stick through
you
it, like
stick
it's
through it.
worth
They
it.
gonna
It's worth
treat
it.
you right.
They really,
right.
Good boys or bad boys?
Bad boys.
Bad boys.
Bad boys.
Bad boys. Good boys.
So why the bad boys?
Because then you get to sit in their passenger seat while they drive really fast.
I think personally good boys, but then I actually end up going for bad boys.
Like every other girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the most generic answer right there. What about you?
Okay, kind of the same exact.
Okay, well there you go.
And rotation. The increased speed is dependent on how big your shaft is. And in most cases, lubrication and piston control is a must. In prevention of heat, you really should keep cool. You know what I'm saying? I know you know.
So, should you be a nice guy? I would say be a good person, be a decent man, be a decent human being. But at times, put your foot down, say what you mean, and don't allow yourself to be taken advantage of. So, I'm not saying be this evil, villainous person because that's what you have to be in order to get women to be attracted to you. Just adopt some character traits that will show yourself as a person that has self-respect, and the respect will follow. So be yourself, be a better version of yourself. As of now, I'm about to go into Walmart. Maybe I should go through the self-checkout line, take me a few things, because that's what bad guys would do, right? No, I'm just playing. Y'all have a good one.